2021, welcome to the future. It's the sort of date that used to come up in establishing shots of sci-fi movies when I was a kid. There's still no flying cars or even hoverboards, and it may appear at first glance that the future has turned out to be a load of rubbish left out in the rain. We're still in the middle of a global pandemic, the UK is no longer part of a united European project, and we don't appear to be any closer to stopping the planet from overheating. On top of that, we're told we're also in the middle of an unprecedented industrial transformation that is churning away in the background, busily turning our careers into apps. But in the longer run, where is it going? Who is this transformative future for? It may be for you this week, but next week, who knows? This last year has been just a taste of how fast things can and will change in our working and personal lives, things we take for granted, and most importantly, what we choose to prioritise. For me, this last year has been about prioritising changes that are good for me, but also good for reasons that are bigger than me. For the last few years, alongside the running of my production company, I've dabbled in 30-day challenges of no sugar or no alcohol, I've done triathlons and tracked my sleep, meditated. In the end, it's all just been body maintenance. It's important, and I've been privileged enough to indulge in personal improvement, but if all it does is get us to the starting block of what's the next hustle, then I think we've missed the point of what all this progress has been for. In case you're wondering, this is not a New Year's resolution. This is the year after the New Year's resolution, in which I switched to a plant-based diet, traded in my old diesel car for an electric, put solar on the roof and batteries in the garage, and started writing and thinking about how we make sure the future is more inspiring, fairer, healthier, and more democratic than it is now. Because I don't see why my kids should inherit a wasted planet with a boring future. I don't even want to grow old in that world. And I have to tell you, in my research so far, I'm feeling pretty optimistic. This channel is all about helping you talk about the kind of future that you might want to live in rather than the kind that you watch in a depressing sci-fi. To do that, as much as possible, I'm going to be living in the future and reporting back. I'll be exploring what kind of work you might do if you were on a universal basic income, or perhaps instead what you might do if you're only working 3 or 4 days a week. Whether you'll need to own a car or even drive one, what you might be eating, and what technology you might use to cast your vote. Basically, everything from an end to tax returns to farming your meat patty to the science of happiness. What do you want this transformation to do, and how might it change us as human beings? I'll admit it's hard to escape the fact that much of it is driven by technology, and perhaps you'd like it if at least some of the solutions don't depend on technology. But as the Scottish sci-fi writer Ian Banks remarked, we're a technological species. So technology will play a big part of the near future and beyond. The idea that we could escape to an Amish future of limited technology is about as possible as our species giving up on technology after the discovery of fire. But we're also a social species, and a big part of our social development has been to create stories that help direct our own behaviour for the better. Countries, money, flags, friendships, and a sense of community. The big difference is that in the past, these developments were all evolutionary. They were brilliant, but almost accidental innovations. The trick to our future, I believe, is to make these new changes more conscious, and for as many people as possible to have a say in what unfolds. For this channel, that means I need to hear from you and what you want me to explore or comment on. I won't pretend to know everything or have a crystal ball, but I'm fascinated by what's already happening and what is very possible, and I'll do my best to explain it in ways anyone can understand. So yes, welcome to the future, the only place we're all heading at the same time. If there's going to be any wisdom in that future, we're going to need to learn how to build a world brain. I'll be putting out something new every week, so hit that like button and subscribe, and please add your thoughts to the conversation in comments, because I will read every one of them.